My name is Larry Shaw. I'm a motivational speaker, writer, and success coach. And today, what I'm doing is talking about two words: obedience and sacrifice. And so, I asked a question to everyone on my social media network to ask them, what do they think is more important? Do you think obedience is more important, or do you think sacrifice is more important? Now, I must admit, I'm a Bible guy, so my final authority is the Bible. So I'm going to be able to pull some verses out of the Bible and kind of present to you, where I got my idea and my opinions from. And so if you're not a Bible person, don't worry. This is not going to be a churchy event. It's just going to have the opportunity to kind of have a dialogue, open dialogue about, two words. And the whole point of this is to try to give you some ideas or give you some thoughts that help you, change your situation for the better. So the two words that we are talking about today is obedience and sacrifice. Okay, which one is more important? Is obedience important or is sacrifice important? Which one is most important? So obedience, we know obedience is the compliance or order or submitting to an authority, a final authority or a higher being or higher something other than yourself. Now the sacrifice means to slaughter, a person or animal, or it means to surrender something or surrender someone, unto, you can surrender to God, to whoever. You're just surrendering something. So you got to know the difference between the two. In terms of the religious standpoint or the spiritual standpoint, God teaches us, how to use our mind. And the reason why I favor towards obedience, and the reason why your Bible will probably favor towards obedience, is because it's a mind thing. So I wrote a quote, and the quote says, "Don't change your actions to do better, but change your mind and then you will do better." So it's an internal thing. When you are obedient, right? When you submit to something, you already sacrificing, right? Now it's not the same way. Like, you can be sacrificing but not so obedient. So whatever you're obedient to, you're sacrificing something, and what you're sacrificing is yourself, your opinions, your feelings, your own self, and you're submitting to something higher than you, right? And in my opinion, if you can submit to something or you submit to God, things are able to run smoothly in your life. All right, so let's look at a verse. Go to Romans 5:19. Right? And, so I'm not going to go through deeply into the verses, but those are things you can look at later. But I'm just going to give you some ideas about certain things. Right? So God was pleased with Christ's obedience. And I want you to check out verse Romans 6:16. Check out Romans 6:16. So this is for the tough guys and the proud women and the guys who, I'm a street dude, I'm about this. And the women, why don't you try to conform to the law? Like, these are for the tough guys. You believe what the book says. And what all this crazy stuff, right? This is what you got to understand. You always obeying something. You always obeying some kind of order. It could be the Bible. It could be ignorance. It can be life. It could be death. It could be the spreading of positivity or the encouragement of genocide. Whatever the case may be, you are submitting to that so-called street code that you follow. You're obeying it. So you're being obedient to it. You have to do those things. Why? Because that's what you have allowed to go into your subconscious mind, and you believe it to be true. So therefore, you have to live what you talk about. Some of these rappers, they have to be obedient to that lifestyle that they're creating, because if not, you're going to call them fake. So you got to understand, you don't have your own thoughts and your own ways, and you don't just come up with all these new things. Everything that you do, that you think, was influenced by somebody or something else. And you got to understand that. So when you say I'm street or I'm this and that, like, you have a compliancy that you're sticking to. You're sticking to the street code. You're sticking to ignorance, or you're sticking to the word of God. You don't have your own thoughts. You're not self-made, like you said. You're not so independent, like you said. It's necessary that you have other people's thoughts and opinions and inspirations and things like that. So let's go ahead and throw that self-made stuff out of the window, because it's not really making any sense. And then keep this in mind. When you're out there choosing sides, you got to understand that today, evil is not obvious. It's not obvious at all. Because things that we feel, we let our feelings override a lot of truth. So when we let our feelings override truth, it can't feel bad. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. This feels so good, it don't matter if I'm going to lose whatever. I don't even want that. If this is wrong, I don't want to find out what's right. You know, and we have that mindset of ignorance is bliss. But that's just kind of how we are. Like, we are not obviously seeing evil. In this world, if you get enough people to join it, or you get enough people to vote for it, then it's right. Evil is not so obvious these days. When you get a chance, just turn to Romans chapter 16, verse 19, and really think about it. Think about the song. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. If this stuff is going to harm my children, well, so be it. We'll march later and say Black Lives Matter when something happens. But right now, this feels too good for me to care about what's going to happen to my people. This feels too good for me to care about what's going to happen to me. So I'm going to keep doing this right here. We are in chapter 16 of Rome, and I want you to check out verse 26. So when you read that verse, I want all of you who are into this, and for your non-Bible people, I'm going to tell you about us Bible people. Not all of us think the same, right? There's a verse that says, study to show yourself approved, a workman needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Okay, so that means there's a wrong way to do it. So many of us rightly divide the word, and a lot of us wrongly divide the word. So you're going to see all kind of different smorgasbord effects with people in the Bible, and a lot of times that turns you away from Bible people. But we're not talking about that. That's another conversation. So in Romans 16, verse 26, I want you to stop putting your church, your religion, and your pastor in place of faith there. In Romans 16:26, you get it. There's a word faith there. I want you to stop removing that word faith and putting your church and putting your religion and putting your pastor in there. Keep the word faith there. When you can display obedience, others can display confidence in you. Some of you dudes got these girls on you like, man, she won't listen, man. She don't respect me. You know why? Because you unstable, my brother. Like, she may not have everything going well for herself, and she may not be in a position, but she know that something ain't right with you. So therefore, by something not being right with you, who want to submit to somebody who's going to lead you into the ground? You know what I mean? So you got to really think about that. Am I consistent in studying with her? Am I consistently edifying her? Am I showing her how hard worker I am, how respectful I am, and how she's my queen, and we're going to create a dynasty? Are you showing that, or are you just want to be in control? Well, when she see you submit, when she see you submit to a final authority and you're consistent with it, then she can submit to you. But until then, it ain't going to really happen. You got to really think about things like that. For you men who are actually doing those things and you're consistent in it, I'm telling you, there's some different kind of women out there. For you men who are dealing with that, what you need to do is find another one, right? Don't try to be changing people to something they're not. Just as well, the women, you can't change the men into something he's not. Men, you can't change the women into something he's not. Like, get with it. Like, you're not given to be with that person forever. If they're not going to be able to get things done with you how you need them done and move forward to where you want to go, then you got to go by yourself or go with somebody else. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3 through 5. And we're just going to cover a couple things. Many people today, spiritual and non-spiritual, have not comprehended that their flesh is separate from their soul and their spirit man. They don't understand the difference. And here's the interesting thing. The people who don't understand that difference and don't understand that war, they're probably not saved. The people who do understand, they realize that's a lifelong battle. Like, your inward person wants to do one thing, but your outward man wants to do another thing. Another quote that I have is called fact, act, feelings follow. You take the fact, you take the truth of a situation, you submit to that, right? So you act based off of what the truth says, and you let your feelings follow. But so many of us, what we actually do, we feel. We have a feeling, and after that feeling, we make a choice based off of that feeling. And for the bad things that we do, what happened? We feel bad about it later, right? So your feelings are all over the place. You're just unstable. When you have a final authority, when you have something that you can be obedient to, you can submit to it despite your feelings. So feelings get pushed aside. Again, that's why obedience is better than sacrifice. We are losing a battle that's already have been won. We still struggling with this flesh. It's already been won. While you still trying to sacrifice the flesh and you still trying to get it done with the outward man, the inward man is already taken care of. And if you can submit to what reality is, you will be able to take care of that. So it's an inside out thing, not an outside in. Some of you ladies, you put all this makeup on, put all this hair on, and you say, I look pretty, I feel pretty. But inside, you hate yourself. Same thing with the men. Like, you're this and that you want to be all sharp, and I see these posts on Facebook, like they'll show a man with a suit and they're like, my weakness. What? So your weakness is the way he dressed? You better get on to what he's talking about, what he's about in his intellect, because a suit ain't gonna lead you to a dynasty. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There's a lot of people, we have been mediocre all our lives. We've been okay with getting D's in school. We've been okay with getting D's so much in school till we at the point where we got a D in front of our value. Hope you get that. But we just mediocre. We just wanna do just enough to get by. We need the best of the best, and we need the best of ourselves. So why not always self-educate? Why not always edify yourself? Why submit to something that's gonna kill you? Why submit to something that's harming you? Why submit to something that's harming your family? And with all these things that's going on in this world, there's a perpetuation of this movement to keep people with their skin that was kissed, with the melanin in their skin, like the dark melanin. This for us to stay back, right? That's what most of the content is. And I only can speak for myself and my people, but we buy into some of that stuff. And it's just crazy. And there's a stronghold on our minds. And for the white folks, I mean, there's probably a white culture of supremacy that you have to buy into. But with spirituality, there's no color. If you really think your spirit has a color, then you're stupid. People are around you and they encourage you to do the same thing. So you have the feminists, you have the white supremacists, you have the pro-black. You got these people who around themselves, and they have these small minds because them that compare themselves among themselves are not wise. So you have your crew, and all of y'all have the same kind of thinking. All of y'all say, man, the man is against me. All of you saying, man, let the black people stay in their own quarter. All of them saying, well, I don't like white girls. I don't like all these dumb ideas that we think about of trying to keep things inward. It just makes us really stupid. But it's a stronghold that's influenced by different things. So when you believe these things to be true, you now have a defense mechanism. So whenever somebody comes to you with some new information, you just go straight on the defensive. Well, this is right. You don't really listen because you're conceited. You're highly favorable of your own opinion. You can't exercise. You're afraid to debate, right? Because you want to just keep your own. But think about this. Can you play a whole basketball game just playing defense? How you going to win? You got to exercise the stuff that you have to go out there and present what you have and what you got, so therefore it can be exercised and it could grow. Sacrifice, when you lead with the sacrifice, that's an outward thing. Whatever you think, I'm gonna sacrifice, I'm gonna stop doing this, I'm gonna stop doing it. But when you submit to what he's doing, to his word, you're already sacrificing. Just go to Romans 12 and really think about that chapter, right? Present your body as a living sacrifice. So while you're living, you're sacrificing your feelings, your own agendas, your racial problems, and you're submitting to something bigger than you, of final authority. What obedience does is creates confidence. Not only confidence in yourself, because now you know that you're not going to mess things up for yourself. You have something to submit to. You have something to trust in. But it also produces confidence in the other person in you. So your wife now has confidence in you because you're obedient. Your girlfriend, your fiance have confidence in you because you're obedient, right? Your employees have confidence in you because you're obedient. So obedience gives the other person confidence. You know what the person's going to do. If somebody's obedient to ignorance, you're confident that they're not the person that you want to lead you to the promised land. That's just not the one. So when we looking in Romans 12 and it says present your body as a living sacrifice, your body, you know what's included in that? Your feelings, your own agenda, again, your skin, all that stuff. Forget about it. Sacrifice that. Live, but sacrifice that, which means don't reckon that. Don't consider that. Think about the spiritual realm. Think about something that's final. Your final authority. Again, for the non-spiritual people, I recommend that you get some kind of final authority, but the order is necessary in this life. Any athletes, when you play a sport, you have to follow the rules. You have to do it in order. Following the rules don't make you less of a person. It don't make you any worse than the next person. What it does is it keeps order, and within the order you can be great. The system, there's a system, I agree, there's a system of place, but you can get inside that system, play the system's way, become intellectual, become smart, become wise, become knowledgeable, and then figure out how to change the system. You got to understand that your creator created you in the image of him. Even though man fall, you still have some traces of the creator in you, which means you are creative. Everybody have their own creativity. So with that said, anything you want to be in life, you can be. You can choose that for yourself. You can put yourself in that mindset and you can make it happen. Now, it is true, at your height in this life without God, you're still going to be empty. Because he placed a void in you that cannot be replaced by anything else, no matter how much and how hard you try. You don't believe me? Feel it for yourself. So I want to end with this. The sacrifice, you can sacrifice your freedom, right? And commit and submit to ignorance. You can do that. That's all free will. It's all up to you. And understand that there are things that goes along with these choices. When you submit to that, there's people that you're supposed to lead in this life that you are leading, but you're leading to the same path as you. So when you do ignorant things, somebody behind you, they're going to want to do ignorant things, because every man on this earth, man and woman, is an inspiration to somebody else. You might not have a big crowd, but you have some people that want to be like you, want to follow you, want to use you as a reason why. So just remember that. So when we talk about genocide, some of you rappers out there who would do anything for a buck, when we talk about genocide, yes, you're influencing a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of dumb stuff that you won't probably even do. But who really cares, right? Nobody cares. It don't matter until somebody else kills us, right? That's when it really matters. For the people who are doing the good things, the people who are trying to encourage each other, challenge each other, let's keep doing this, man. Let's keep being positive. And we got to know that, yes, Black lives matter. Truly, truly, all lives matter. But what really matters is your family, your surrounding, your community, this life. And in order for you to create those things that you want to do, in order for you to be living a life that you're totally passionate about, it's necessary that you take account for yourself, but also challenge these people, man. Hold these people accountable. Share positive videos. Let's not share black people fighting black people and saying ignorant stuff. You know, if all you so-called black fighters, go ahead and go do some legalized fighting. What's that? MMA and boxing. Go do some stuff like that. Get paid to do it rather than just look stupid and do it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. You have any comments, please submit your comments. I love talking. I love engaging. I love learning. So all the things that I've said today, you might not agree with all of them. You might agree with one. You might agree with none. But the whole thing is just to get the conversation going. You know. So if I said one thing that helped you or something that you like, please leave a comment. Let me know. If I say something you want to challenge, you disagree with, please let me know. Again, I'm only here to make myself better and hopefully inspire other people to become better. So thank you.